Hi everyone, welcome. So today I want to talk about all the movies I've been watching recently for the past month for October and some I was in November. So at the start of October, so I watched a lot of horror movies because it's a spooky month. Even though I don't celebrate Halloween, I don't celebrate because nobody celebrates it around me, and also costumes. I'm not really good at making them or buying them. I don't know where to buy it, and it's just not really a culture around me. I wish it was, but it's not. But anyway, we can watch horror movies. We can relax and watch horror movies. So the first movie I watched, As Above, So Below. So As Above, So Below is it's a horror movie which is very unique. It's shot with a camera, the found footage kind of genre, but it's really well shot. It's not really bumpy and hazy camera which kind of makes you dizzy. It's not like that. It started that way, but it kind of calms down. And this is a very underrated horror movie. I think I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and the reason I really enjoyed it because we have this protagonist where she finds a tunnel. In that tunnel there's a old sculpture like Indiana Jones kind of thing, and in that sculpture she finds some carvings, and she translates it, and then she goes to Paris, London, and then she meets up with some people, and she believes that there's a treasure, elixir of life, which gives you immortality, is hidden in underground of Paris. And but it turns out that the underground of Paris is hell. It's literal hell, and it's it delves into really weird and spooky. It keeps you up on your toes, and you're anticipating what's gonna happen next, and it's very claustrophobic because they go down into catacombs, and it's just such a fun time. I really highly recommend if you haven't seen As Above, So Below. It's a really good horror movie, and it's underrated. It was released in 2014, and I haven't really heard of it until now. Some people are recommending it right now. The horror movie I watched is The Host by the director of Parasite, and it's a highly Oscar winner director, highly regarded director, and I didn't really understand why this one is really good. I just didn't really like it. It was okay. A lot of people like it. It's like a monster. It's like a monster flick about dumping chemicals into a river. So a lizard kind of creature becomes really big and tries to kill a lot of people, and kidnaps one of this girl from this poor family, and then this family tries to rescue that girl while also being hunted by the government because they came in contact with that lizard. It was just weird, and I didn't really think of it a lot. Okay, I gave it a 2 or 2.5 out of 5 stars, and it's just, yeah, The Host was okay. Next I watched Saw. So Saw is a classic, a horror and torture kind of movie. I don't really watch those kinds of movie. I'm not really a big fan of those torture movies of serial killers and stuff, but I just watched it because why not. Saw is really popular, and yeah, I was really surprised. It was so it's about this killer who's roaming around and finding people, and he kidnaps them and puts them on a game, and if they survive the game they get to go free, and if they don't survive they die. I think it was good. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's not really my thing. I don't know, I'm gonna continue with watching more of the Saw movies, but I really enjoyed it. It was a fun time. Then I watched Cabin in the Woods, which is a satirical or a parody of a horror movie. So if you have watched something like Evil Dead, or a cabin horror movie where some group of friends go to a cabin, and every single and piece by piece they are killed by some monsters or some serial killers or something, and like they go paranoid. So this is like a play on that, but it's like science fiction. It's become very science fiction. And if you get into knowing like what's gonna happen, it's way more interesting. I think this needs another rewatch sometime later. I enjoyed this, but I do think that it takes a little more time to like shows its cards, and it's like the first like it they shows you like something weird is going on. Like it was a very innovative movie when it came out, and I really like what it says about like those tropes of horror movies. It's a fun movie. I gave that 3.5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, watching a lot of horror movies. Then I watched another horror movie in the month of October, and that is the new the new like 2024 horror movies, which is called Speak No Evil. And it's the main so the main actor is James McAvoy, which I really like. He's one of my favorite actors. I really like him. So I watched it for him, and I really like wasn't expecting to be so much entertained. This movie is just pure entertaining. So this movie is I don't want to spoil it. As you slowly watch, it's like it kind of feels like Resident Evil. It kind of feels like Resident Evil 7, but less zombie and like monstrous, but more like psychological thriller. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I wasn't expecting to, and this is an underrated horror movie also. Okay, the next movie I watched, which is also horror kinda, it's more like a mystery thriller, and that is Longlegs. It was also released in 2024, and I have a lot to say about it, but I don't know what to say about it. Like honestly, so this is more of like a mystery thriller, and I saw someone, I think it was Man Carrying Things, who compared this to Stephen King's Stephen King series with like Holly and that character. And I haven't read a lot of Stephen King, but I'm really excited to read more Stephen King. And I really liked the main character of this movie, and the main character of this movie is compared to Holly, which is and so yeah, I'm really excited to like read those like Miss Mercedes and like Holly and The Outsider, kind of like those detective kind of series from Stephen King. Anyway, so the Longlegs is about this killer whose name is Longlegs, who is killing a group of families, and like he's like kind of telling them to kill themselves. So the father kind of kills everyone in this family and then kills himself. And he chooses the targets whose like daughters are on the birthday of, or are on the date of 14th birthday. So like they have birthday on like date 14, or like 14 January, 14 March, and he chooses them and kind of kills them. And we follow this group of like FBI investigators who are trying to investigate those murders. And one of the main character, she has some sort of like super sense. She can like high intuition, and she also has some kind of relation with the killer. And this movie, like, it was kind of weird, and I don't really know if I like it or not. I really liked the reveal at the end. I think it was cool, but I wished it had more like more horrific imagery, more like more horror stuff than the more misty stuff. And yeah, anyway, I gave it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I still need to process it and like fully like recognize that what this movie is, because I still don't know what I watched with this movie. And it was, but yeah, I'm glad I watched it. It was an experience. This movie was an experience. Okay, so this is all the movie I watched for the month of October. And in November, it just started. It's like 3 November right now when I'm recording it. It's like 3rd of November right now, but I already watched 2 movies, and those 2 movies were highly anticipated, and they are like 2024 movies. So the first one is The Wild Robot. So I needed a little breather for watching a lot of horror movies and reading a lot of horror books. So I watched The Wild Robot, and I had a really fun time. So I went into her Wild Robot with some high expectation, because coming from DreamWorks, so like Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. So the animated movies released last year with Nimona, Boy and the Heron, from like they were like a really like some of the best animated movies I've ever watched. And coming from that to Wild Robot, which also has this big hype in like movie community, is so I had really high expectation, and in some ways it met, but in some ways it didn't for me. Like I really enjoyed the plot, the story of it, but what I wanted out of it is to be emotionally destroyed, like Nimona, like Spider-Verse. But it wasn't really like, it was there, but it wasn't really like speaking to me personally. And there was some tears, but it kind of felt a little bit muted for me. So yeah, that's why I'm giving it a 4 stars, but maybe on a good day it would be a 4.5 stars for me. But yeah, it's definitely one of the best animated movies of this year, but it doesn't compare to the last year's animated movies. Anyway, but there's still Look Back, which I'm excited to watch, and there's still Flow, and some other animated movie which are like coming out, which I wanna see, and they may be really good, right? So anyway, after Wild Robot, I watched a movie which recently like came out in digital, and that is The Substance. And oh my god, this movie I watched The Substance last night, and I still am thinking about it. That movie is so first of all, this movie is, I don't want to really spoil it. I don't really want to spoil it, but it's like a science fiction body horror, a really high focus on body horror. So there's a lot of bro stuff. So okay, so there's like this actress Elizabeth, who is like kind of dissatisfied with her life, because she's getting old and she's getting axed from all these shows, and then she tries to opt for this, like the substance, which kind of makes a new you out of you. Like it kind of like changes your personality and like stuff. I don't want to really spoil it. Just watch it if you want a really good body horror, if you want a really good psychological horror. It feels like if Perfect Blue and The Thing like mashed together, and it's a beautiful like mashing, because I have praises for this movie so much. One more thing though, that I really thought that this movie would be more complicated, because it feels like a A24 movie. It's not. It's like distributed by Mubi. So I really thought that it will be a little complicated to follow, and I wanted a complicated movie. I wanted to be like a think a lot of movie like Longlegs, but this was really straightforward, and I think that makes it more accessible. So if you want to watch it, it will be really easy to follow. Like they really tell you, it's like at the start of Death Note, where they tell you all the rules, and in this movie they like give you cards that these are the rules, and if you don't follow the rules, like shit's gonna go down. Okay, something's bad's gonna happen. And I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And after watching this movie, I'm really scared to look at human bodies anymore. Like even like looking at my own skin and my own body, and like any other human, it just reminds me of this movie, The Substance, and I cannot look at that anymore. It's just I'm really grossed out by human body right now after watching this movie, and it's just, you. And but this movie was, I'm so thinking about it because it was so good. So yeah, so The Substance was the highlight of what I watched for the past month, and for the past month. And I really hope you got some recommendation. If you have some horror movie recommendation, tell me what your favorite movies are, and if you watched any of the movies I talked about. So yeah, I also love movies as much as I love books. So yeah, I have a lot of hobbies, and just I'm trying to connect and make friends. So yeah, chat away in the comments, and I'll see you later. I'll, I'll see you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Like and subscribe. Bye bye. See ya.